Good morning to all, and thank you to Father for the surprise invitation to speak. Although, gantian siguro for the surprise invitation to surprise ng February 25 or February 22 earlier this year. To be very honest with you po, I'm really still composing my thoughts po about what's happened the last few days. I was lucky to spend some time yesterday in another mass with some of the families of the victims of EJKs. And I think I haven't been active enough in that advocacy in the last 8 years. But parang from the stories of others and in the stories of the people who were there at that mass, you could feel the real catharsis that people felt. Na after so many years of injustice, so many years of crying out for justice and the silence that met them, they finally have an opportunity to have their stories heard by an impartial court that will decide without fear or favor on their cases. And I think that's something very meaningful. I've also made the interesting decision in the last 8 years not to unfriend anyone. And so I've also seen some of the reactions on the part of our opposing camp right now. No? And while some of it is perhaps what you'd expect, what Father discussed, na there's a lot of meanness, there's a lot of misinformation. I also chanced upon one story about someone whose family was really harshly abused by drug addicts, right? Who I don't know if true or not, but I'm choosing to believe it. No? The infant sister was killed by a drug addict, napasukan yung bahay nila. And it struck me how the catharsis that this person described when Duterte came into power was very, I don't want to say the same, but it's drawn from it seems to be drawn from a similar place. No? Parang a harsh injustice was done to their family. And they saw in Duterte something that was an answer to it. No? And so I wonder that, or I fear that it is going to be a divisive time for us. And with humility, I think, while I'm very firm in my stand that Duterte needs to be brought to justice for bringing out this really harsh, this really evil thing that happened in this country for 6 years, I do also, with humility, I also recognize that we need an answer for all Filipinos, both those who were wronged by Duterte, harshly wronged by Duterte, and those who rightly seek justice from him. We're finding that answer now. But I think those of us who believe in democracy, believe in that every life is important, I think we also need to find an answer for everyone. No? For those who we weren't able to find an answer for in the years prior to Duterte, those who were not able to seek justice and therefore but chose to seek justice in the most brutal way. I hope that those of us who believe in democracy don't stop with bringing Duterte to justice, but let's find ways to bring justice to all Filipinos so that we never go back to this kind of harshness, to this kind of violence, to this kind of death. And in the end, I think in the coming days, I hope that we find justice. I hope that I believe that the ICC is an impartial court, and I think that is the ultimate standard for justice. I hope that Duterte is brought to justice. I hope that we end this phase in our history where where so much blood has been shed. And I hope with humility we can look forward to a future where we can live up to the highest ideals and aspirations of EDSA 39 years ago, Father. So wala po ako 39 years ago kasi 33 po ako 39 years ago I was around. But yun po, with humility, with hope, with some sharing in the joy of those who are victimized by Duterte, but also humbled by the shortcomings that we have to those who supported him. I look forward to justice unfolding. So thank you po.